And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, a Thursday edition. Football's back tonight. Vikings in action. There's a couple games on tonight. We'll react to them next week. We'll get into it. Wherever you're listening, however long you listen for, we thank you very much. We're with you every Tuesday and Thursday leading up to the NFL season. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Up to 848 subscribers right now. Hopefully more by the time this hits the air. We're chasing down 1,000 by the start of the season. That's our goal. So we thank you if you've been a part of the journey for us. We're hoping for big things ahead. The best thing you can do is like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on all platforms at Paul Farrington Show. Share with a friend. That's the best thing you can do is just say, hey, check out this show. You might like it. We just need the more subscribers, the better. And then leave a comment and have some fun. It's all about having fun. We say we'll keep going until it's not fun anymore, but we're still here. So all good signs. I'm joined alongside Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia. Ziggy, how you doing?
I went too hard in the gym today, Paul. I was one deadlift rep away from vomiting all over the floor.
Oh, man. Well, we were talking briefly for a second off air. I always feel great leaving the gym. Even if my body's not, mentally, I feel very good about myself. If I go early in the day, my whole day is made. There's just a big difference between not going and going mentally for me. You're not at that point yet, though?
I'm new to this. The viewers can tell. I don't exactly have arm strength. There's a certain point early on, like I felt this when I did hardcore running too. Like you just feel absolutely miserable when you get back into it. You're sore all over. You're exhausted. Your body's saying, "Why don't you just go back to being a slob?"
Well, you were a great runner in high school, right?
Yeah, but every offseason I take a couple weeks off, and that first run back. Oh, the first run back was the worst.
That was really funny for a second, Ziggy. Your camera completely malfunctioned. We haven't had that issue in like a year. And then it sped everything up and you started talking. If you're watching on YouTube, it looked pretty funny there watching you go fast. But yeah, no, I think if you become jacked, being a brilliant philosopher and jacked it just might be unfair for people. So
it's like Plato wrote in one of his dialogues. It's a shame for a man to grow old without seeing what his body was once capable of.
Yeah, that's great inspiration.
Would Ziggy be the only jacked philosopher?
Oh no, there are. I
kind of want to quote that. I mean, I guess we're quoting Plato, but I want to quote Ziggy quoting Plato and put that on our Instagram or something like that. I like that. Of course. We can't forget about the best executive producer in the game. Zack Bloomquist is with us behind the scenes.
Bigger arms than Ziggy, but what are you going to say?
Is it all good behind the scenes, Zack?
What? Everything's all good behind the scenes. Everything's good here.
Good.
Yeah, but my story still...
What story?
Last night was very interesting. Very interesting. We got done with the show.
Before we get on with Joe Burrow and that excitement, what happened?
Yeah, because everybody loves Joe Burrow. You know me.
Everyone does love Joe Burrow.
Big Joe Burrow fan.
Who hates Joe Burrow?
Me.
We'll talk about that.
Right, go ahead. What's your story?
Yeah, but so last night we got done with the show, right? Late night. Mm-hmm. Nothing's really open. So, I decided to mosey my way over to BK, It's the only thing that's open up at like 11 o'clock at night. Get there. There's a carnival going on. So there's all these little kids running around. By little kids, I mean like 16-year-olds.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I'm going through the drive-thru, get in, talk to the lady at the drive-thru, get my food. As I pull up to the window, one of these 16-year-olds comes up to my window. Is like, I just want fries. I was like, and he was like annoying the lady. So I was like, okay, like just get the kid some fries. Like this way, he stops annoying the lady at the drive-thru window, and he gets out of my face. And then all of a sudden, I just get a mob of 16-year-olds around my car, and then
it's never a good thing when you're 24 years old.
No, it's never a good thing. So I was like, I got to get these kids away from me as fast as I can. So like, here's your fries. And the one kid was like, oh, I'm gonna hit this guy up when I get famous in the NFL. I'm like, yep, no, you're not.
Hey, that'd be great. That's a good deal.
Look, it would be great. But I was like, you know what you can do now for me? You can go follow this podcast. And I had like,
what a move,
like 50 of them surrounding my car. And all of them just start ripping off the podcast. And next thing I know, I look it up subscribers and it went up like 10 subscribers. I was like,
grassroots.
Good enough for me.
That's how we do it. Grassroots.
Yeah. And all I had to do was buy $3 fries for the kid.
Wow. So I guess we can be bought. We can be bought.
We can be bought cheap. But I mean, this is the thing. In most places, it's illegal to go through a drive-thru on foot.
I know.
Like I've seen people going through drive-thrus on a horse, and that's okay. There's like a Panda. There was a Panda Express. No, seriously, there was a Panda Express near where I lived in Southern California, and like every week someone would go through there on horse to like get their orange chicken or whatever, but you couldn't go in by foot.
Dude, you know, Southern California, for the East Coast, sure, we're a little mean at times, but the West Coast, I mean, you guys got some weird things going out there. All right, we have a really fun show today, though. We have great stories to talk about.
I know we're starting with Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's injury. Woo! Yeah. Look, it might be a little more serious than we thought. What should the Bengals do there? Chaos in Washington. There's several commanders went to Ron Rivera to report an issue with Eric Bieniemy, their new offensive coordinator. What's going on there? We'll talk about it. Justin Jefferson. Ziggy sent this in our chat a while ago, and I just caught it now. He was a little disrespected by an NFL executive, or at least someone. We'll have to see who it was. I'm not sure if we can find that out. In wide receiver rankings ahead of the 2023 season, Trevon Diggs and Dak Prescott, they've been going at it. We're going to talk about, is that a problem or are people just overreacting? And then some Jordan Love family night practice. We'll discuss how the Packers quarterback is looking. Zach, I also want to talk about Xavien Howard, his comments on Desmond Ridder. It's very funny. We'll get to that at the end of the show as well.
I have
hysterical comments from your guy.
Later. Don't worry, I have something later for that.
Before we get to Burrow, I just wanted to ask, did you watch Hard Knocks last night, Ziggy?
I did. I got a chance to tune in and watch some of the Jets Hard Knocks coverage.
Any good? I haven't watched yet.
I'll tell you, it was interesting enough, but Hard Knocks has really changed ever since they did the Browns a few years back. It used to be, you got like a real look inside the team, behind the scenes access, the good and the bad. This Hard Knocks episode felt like it was made by Aaron Rodgers' PR guy.
That's what I heard. I heard it's very pro Rodgers. I still haven't seen it. Like
if you watch that, you wouldn't know he was a controversial figure. I'm not even saying it's right or wrong, but Quinnen Williams just signed one of the biggest extensions in NFL history for a non-quarterback. His name was not mentioned once in the episode. Meanwhile, you get 50 minutes of Aaron Rodgers being praised by absolutely everyone. So either Aaron Rodgers won't let anyone around him say a bad word, which, I mean, that's possible, frankly. No one will know about this guy. In either case, Hard Knocks has just gone downhill, I think. But, the Jets, they raised a big fit about how they didn't want to be on it. Now everyone's wearing I Love Hard Knocks t-shirts. It's just things have changed.
That's the Jets, yeah. You have no idea what you're going to get from them. But they should be entertaining. It'll be a good good series. I'm excited to watch. Thing.
Yeah, even if Hard Knocks isn't hard-hitting journalism anymore, it's fun to watch.
That's all I really
we run a sports podcast. We like watching guys play football. You get to watch some guys play some football. You get to see Zach Wilson show off the arms a little bit.
Cool. No, I'm looking forward to it. The biggest concern for training camp for me always, as a big Vikings fan, you guys know that, I'm always terrified of injuries happening. I can still remember being in Acme. I'm 18 years old, actually 17, working in the bakery, and I get a text from one of our good friends. It's just like, Teddy's down, looks bad. And the asshole wrote LOL, like all that. And I was like, oh, come on, man. So I go back into the back room, look at my phone, and I see like he blew up his knee. Everything's destroyed, caught it off. People are crying, throwing up, the whole nine. And I started crying in the back of the bakery at 17 years old. I had tears in my eyes. And I came back and, putting cookies together. And they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. so training camp injuries are always a concern for me. And Joe Burrow strained his calf at the beginning of Bengals training camp. It was a non-contact injury. He was carted off. Zach Taylor said he'll be out for several weeks. It wasn't as bad as people thought it could be. But again, you got to be careful with these things. And when Zach Taylor gave an update recently, he said the timeline is several weeks from when I said several weeks. So we don't really know exactly what's going on with Burrow. We're hoping he'll be okay for week one. Jamar Chase had a really, really interesting quote. He said, I told him I don't want him out there. I sat out an extra game just to let my hip heal all the way up. You don't want to cause problems later in the season. As long as you're there after week 5 and on, we're good, brother. And if you look at the Bengals' first 5 games, at the Browns versus the Ravens, versus the Rams, at the Titans, at the Cardinals, couple important games there at the start, 2 division games. And we know how important winning the AFC North will be. We know how important the 1 seed will be in the AFC. That could be the difference between getting to the Super Bowl or not. How patient, Ziggy, can Cincinnati be with Joe Burrow?
they can be patient until he is 110%. I mean, look, if Joe Burrow misses 5 games there, they probably still go 3-2, maybe 2-3. But the thing is, like this Bengals team, we know they can go on the road in the playoffs and win. Yep. In a tough environment, Joe Burrow is the coolest quarterback since Joe Montana. Like he can handle the pressure. The thing that you have to worry about, especially with something like a calf strain, is those injuries are really easy to re-aggravate, almost as bad as hamstrings. And if Joe Burrow tries to play through it at 90%, the offensive line doesn't click game 1, and he gets hit and re-aggravates it, makes it worse, and has to miss 8 or 9 games, and then still can't come back 100% week 10, week 11, that's a disaster. The season's almost over.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's actually pretty likely he starts week 1. I don't think this injury is super bad. But if their doctors say, he's only 95%, there's a 20% risk of re-aggravation, let's hold him out a couple weeks, you have to do it.
I agree with you because, like you said, if you lose Joe Burrow and you're the Bengals, season's over. It doesn't matter. And you can roll into Buffalo. You can roll into Cincinnati. They've done it and win those games. So I'm with you completely that if he's not 100%, hold him out for a week or two. Like, it really shouldn't matter that much. But then I go and look, and now just to play a little devil's advocate here, last year they were 0-2. They lose to the Steelers in overtime week 1. They lose to Cooper Rush and the Cowboys in week 2. Those 2 games, they ultimately wound up deciding whether or not they were the 1 seed. And so if they had won those, they would have hosted the Chiefs. We know they're 2-0 at home against Kansas City since Burrow and Mahomes have taken over. Like, there is reason to look at these and say, okay, if he's 95% healthy and you're playing 2 division games, we just said the Ravens, the Browns, the Steelers, all of them are going to be competitive this year. The AFC North is going to be hard to win. It's not a walk in the park like it should be for Jacksonville. I can see reasons why people would want to put Burrow in if he's 98, 99%. But I'm with you. I agree. If he's not 100%, you just got to be careful because the worst thing in the world that could happen is this calf injury turns into an Achilles injury, which you sometimes see that even like Kevin Durant, for example, calf, Achilles, and he's out for a long period of time. So I'm with you on that. I thought you.
Yeah, I mean, and again, even if it's not an Achilles, even if it doesn't develop into that, like what matters, I think, isn't how well Joe Burrow's feeling. Right? We know he can play through pain. He's a very good quarterback. Joe Burrow at 95% is better than most quarterbacks in the league, certainly better than everyone else on the Bengals. The only thing you have to think about is re-aggravation risk.
Yep.
Because again, like even if it's not an Achilles injury, it's just he re-aggravates it and has to miss.
It's the last thing you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's preseason right now, right? So like we're not worried about the fact that he's missing weeks. But if this happened during the season, we'd be closing in on almost 3 weeks out.
Yep.
And you miss 3, 4, 5 games. That's terrible.
All right, so we're in agreement here. Keep him out. Look, if he has to miss 4 weeks, just make sure he's 100% healthy because the Bengals should be fine. But I do think that there's a little bit of that risk in a competitive AFC. But yes, we agree. 100% healthy Joe Burrow. That's how it has to be. I'm so nervous with this water here. I usually have a water bottle or something with a lid on it, and we have all this expensive equipment around. I'm just waiting to knock it over as I'm waving my hands here. In Washington, there is some chaos
before we
going
move on. Please. I do have a quick question because I was talking at my job, I was talking with one of the guys. Sure. And it's kind of random, but we're talking about Joe Burrow, right? So
I have no idea what's about to come out of this guy's mouth.
Don't worry. And it was just a fun, real quick conversation. Like, Herbert just got 5 years, $265 million.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd sign Burrow for like for a Patrick Mahomes deal, like a 10-year, something crazy?
No.
I don't think.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, go ahead, Ziggy.
The way the Bengals have historically done business is they will not guarantee money after the first year. Now, they've been willing to bend that a little bit this offseason, right? You can look at they changed their rules a little bit. Like Trey Hendrickson, for instance, he got that extension a little bit earlier than players usually do when you're with the Bengals. He got an extension 2 years out. Usually they won't sign them more than 1 year out. But to get the Patrick Mahomes deal, the Browns are going to have to guarantee, the owner, Paul Brown, is going to have to guarantee Joe Burrow money for like 6 or 7 years out. And that's just not how they do business. So I fully expect him to sign, he'll get a big guarantee on his deal, but I don't think it'll be more than 2 or 3 years. And if you're Joe Burrow, signing a 10-year deal is placing a huge cap on your earnings potential. We've already seen how maybe it's a good decision or not, but that's hurt Patrick Mahomes' money big time. I think that's going to be a unique case.
Yeah, the market being look, I have my issues with the market being reset for every quarterback who's coming up. I just, it's at some point it has to stop because some guys, it's like, I mean, some guys shouldn't reset the market. Like, it's just fact of the matter.
Joe Burrow, these aren't big time market resets, right? You look at some positions like Aaron Donald reset the market.
Yes, no, he did, but like
Justin Herbert getting $500,000 a year more than Lamar Jackson doesn't.
And I'm okay with
Trent Williams guys. Reset the market.
I'm looking at and I don't know if they completely reset the market or not. Did Watson still reset the market?
Watson reset the market and fully guaranteed, but that was a weird contract.
Yeah, it's like I just think at some point you gotta end with these star quarterbacks. Everyone resetting something. Burrow's worth it. He'll be worth it in my opinion. I think most people's.
Yeah. It was just a random question, especially since he's hurt now and
he should get the extension before he goes on the field again, and I assume that will happen. But it's never safe to assume. Down in Washington now. Eric Bieniemy came over from Kansas City, same position, offensive coordinator. And it's kind of strange because there's always been questions why Bieniemy can't get a head coaching gig, even though he's been one of the more successful offensive coordinators in football for years now. I mean, 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's been to 3 of them. And a lot of that has to do with being attached to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But most people say Eric Bieniemy is a great offensive coordinator. And part of his coaching style is he's very demanding. He's tough on guys. They're talking about in Washington, if you're not in or out of the huddle fast enough, he's benching the entire first string. And people, apparently some players, went to Ron Rivera and said that they were concerned about the way he's been coaching them. As Rivera said, quote, a little concerned. Now, there are 2 ways I look at this. One, from Rivera's standpoint, it was really weird to make this a public situation. It felt like he was kind of just dissing Bieniemy in public when no one really prompted it. But I don't think it was meant that way because he actually came out just the other day and read from a script basically to clarify what was going on. He's like, no, we like it. Of course, I love Eric being here. We want to address the issues of the past and go forward. Like he read from a script, which wasn't exactly genuine, but maybe they just had to keep him on track here. I don't think that's a big issue. They're going to move on from that. What I actually found the bigger issue with this story, which people haven't talked about too much, is the fact that Washington players are going to Rivera and saying they're concerned with Bieniemy's intense nature. Like, if you're Washington, they've been 20th or worse in points per game and yards per game on offense since 2017. They have had 3 10-plus winning seasons since 1992, and they haven't won a playoff game since 2005. Like, if I'm a Washington fan, I love hearing this. Because I need someone to try and spark a fire for a franchise that's just sucked for years and years on end here. It's more concerning to me that the players are having trouble with it than the fact that even though what Rivera said was dumb, but you need the guys to have a fire lit under their ass in Washington. Am I crazy here, Ziggy? Or
I totally agree. I mean, people are comparing his style to Jack Del Rio, saying, "Oh, Del Rio's a little bit more laid back. He sort of lets us do our own thing." Hey guys, the defense in Washington's been great, right? They've done their end of the bargain. Totally. They're in a tough offensive division and they consistently produce. Yeah. I mean, first of all, I have to say, I sort of feel for Washington and Rivera a little bit here. Like, fans always say they want transparency. They want guys to not read off the script. They hate when Belichick, it just like, he'll get some line in his head like, I'm not answering questions, we're on to Cincinnati, and just say it 20 times until reporters give up. And then finally, when Rivera comes out and says something real like, oh, some guys are struggling with the offensive coordinator adjustment, it becomes this huge story.
It is funny. It is funny when you mention that. Like, people just want, like you said, they want to have this inside look into the league. And Rivera, who's, an older coach now, he should know probably to keep that public, but he gives this little hint of information. It's not. I don't think it was a huge diss or anything at Bieniemy.
I don't think he was even trying to diss. No, he was just saying the truth.
He wasn't trying to.
Yeah, I mean,
but then you have everyone attacking him, and they're making fun of Rivera. They're saying, is he trying to sabotage things? I don't think that's an issue at all. And then he apologized to Bieniemy. Bieniemy was like, I don't care, man. Let's get back to work.
Yeah, but I mean, we've heard about things like this in Kansas City before, right? Particularly like Kelsey and Mahomes have talked about this. Bieniemy coaches everyone like they're a star. He expects excellent performance from them. And look, when you do a bad job, he'll let you know. But when you do a good job, he'll also let you know. Right? Everyone has consistently said he's the loudest praiser on the field. When someone does something well, he's going over there, congratulating guys, telling them what they did well. So I get that it's a stylistic adjustment, right? Ron Rivera has always been a little bit more laid back. Certainly so is Jack Del Rio. But I think in terms of being concerned, this is a big nothing burger. The players are having some difficulty adjusting. They talked to Rivera. Rivera basically said, shut up and let Bieniemy coach. And that's how it'll be. They need results. Try anything new. But here's the one thing I'll say. I read an article about this in Sports Illustrated, and it's true. You've sort of got two sides publicly now. One saying Bieniemy's pushing them too hard. The other saying this is what they need. The side that's right, or the side that will end up gloating over the other, entirely depends on their record this season. Right? If they do well, everyone's going to say, oh, Bieniemy's style is great. If they do poorly, everyone's going to say, oh, Bieniemy, he really screwed things up there.
But again,
he's going to get too much credit.
But again, Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid, those are different guys. So the success for Bieniemy, it's really good, but you have to look at it, with an asterisk. I've never been able to say that word. With an asterisk there.
Asterisk.
Asterisk. I don't know why I can't say that word.
It's not asterisk. It's asterisk.
Asterisk. Whatever. I think that even regardless of their record, things need to change in Washington from what we've seen for a long time now. So I'm fine with someone who's an established coach, a successful coach coming in, not changing their ways. It's good. It's good for that team.
Well, just to add to Ziggy's thing, Tyreek Hill tweeted out, I don't know if it was today or the other day. He praised Bieniemy. He was like, he coaches hard, but like at the end of the day, you're going to be way better for it.
Better, yeah.
And I mean, Tyreek Hill, one of the best wide receivers, is saying that.
If everyone has all these positive things to say, that there's a reason for it. So
nobody's ever said he's like an abusive coach, right? Coaching hard.
It's not like he's like throwing helmets at people.
Yeah, he's not Urban Meyer, right? He's not attacking injured players and telling them they're worthless.
Kicking his kickers.
Yeah, right. Like, no, what he's doing is coaching hard. And I think that's a valid style. So long as you're supportive when guys do well and they realize you've got their back. Yeah. Like, yeah, go for it,
Coach them hard. You're also their number one fan. That's what he said. And that's fine. Let's pull up some of these Jordan Love clips from Packer practice. You got them there, Zach? These aren't all of the throws, but Jordan Love practiced in 11-on-11s the other day at Packers family night. And there were some clips. You good to...
Were the Bears there?
All right, yeah, you good to show these?
Yeah, ready? I'll play it in 3, 2, 1.
All right, there we go. So I was watching these, and at first I got really excited because as we go through these highlights, here's a deep ball, incomplete. Nope, nothing there. You have to remember, as a Viking fan, I'm watching this. I'm going, all right, here we go.
And this is like Aaron Rodgers' specialty,
overthrow,
the deep touch ball.
Yep, overthrow. Oh, I've seen Aaron Rodgers so many times make that pass. Here's one in the dirt. All right, it's goes for nothing. And now this throw here, people are going crazy over it. That's going to be a sack most of the time. I'm just going to say, like,
no, in real football, that's a sack every time.
And this one here too, you'll see, decent, like, good throw, sack or strip, fumble. I was very excited with all of the original incompletions and struggles that you saw from Jordan Love. I believe another one's coming up here. No, there he goes a little out, but the more you watch Jordan Love, I will say, he looked like there's talent there. I love that pass. I got so excited watching that one. I will say there is talent there. He makes some nice throws. He's able to make reads. That's one thing that people were saying, is that he's a smart player. But some conclusion I've got to, and people are going to be upset because it's not this sweeping, oh, he's going to be great, or oh, he's going to totally suck, which is what I was originally on. I think you're just going to look at an okay quarterback in Green Bay going forward. And he has the chance to prove me wrong. And you know what? For his sake, go ahead. And I hope he does. Like, I don't want the Packers to be good, but I'm not rooting against any players individually here. But being transparent with everyone, it's like, I think he'll be fine. And that's almost terrifying as a Packers fan, because then you get caught in this limbo of, okay, what do we do with him? Do we how long do we keep him for? Like, unless if you have a great roster around Jordan Love, I don't expect him at any point in his career to be a top 10 quarterback or even a top 12 in the league. And again, you can't go off of like just these highlights. We're just showing them for fun. But that's where I am on Love right now. What about you, Ziggy? Where's your confidence level?
I think you're going to see a season that's a lot like a rookie quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see moments where he looks really good and moments where he looks really bad. And the question the Packers will ask themselves, it's like with any first or second year quarterback, right? Is this guy good enough to justify giving him another year? They were in an awkward situation contractually, but basically, like, he's just starting for the first time. And you can go to as many practices as you want, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a good quarterback or not, right? Like Patrick Mahomes, from the first preseason game he played, you knew he was special.
That's what
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of these quarterbacks, I feel like the special ones, you kind of start to get the idea. And by now you would think the Packers would know just from practice over. And apparently Love has gotten a lot better from when he first came in the building. Good for him. But you don't see a lot of those wow plays. I brought this up before. Greg Jennings said Rodgers used to take the third string guys and they would go out and compete with the first stringers in Green Bay. And you just don't really hear those stories from Love, a lot of these wow moments from even just practice. So that's where I'm a little hesitant to completely buy in on him.
No, I mean, is he going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback?
Yeah,
probably
it's
not.
unfair.
And the Hall of Fame quarterbacks are the ones where like they wow from day one. But it is absolutely within the range of outcomes to be an above average starter.
Yeah, that's completely possible
and,
for Jordan.
If he's an above average starter for a majority of his games, right, he'll have some stinkers, right? He's new to this whole thing. But if he can play above average or even just average in some of those big games, close to just a little bit better than how he played in that KC game. He played good enough for the Packers to win, but just a little bit better than that.
And Packers fans, they like what they're seeing, too. A lot of Packers fans, just from reading comments on videos and stuff like that, they are feeling more comfortable with him now. And I that actually applies to me, too, where, a month ago, 2 months ago, I was saying these guys suck. And sometimes it's just joking around because I hate the Packers. But watching him, you're a little more comfortable seeing him take over this season than if it were to happen last year or especially 2 years ago. So there's reason for some optimism in Green Bay. I know this is on the heels of me saying it's over. And let me just make it clear. They're not going to the playoffs this year. They're not. They're going to come in last in the NFC North. There's not going to be a great season in Lambeau. But I do think that Love could be an okay quarterback. Like that is 100% in the range of possibilities. I am excited. I'm hopeful that they'll start him or play him early. I want to see what he can do against the Bengals first team defense. I'm excited to see him in the preseason. I don't know. I don't weigh it too heavily because but if he's terrible or great, you'll get to see. Yes, and you know what? We will 100% overreact too. If we see a great Jordan Love, we'll come on here and I'm gonna be like, you gotta be kidding me with this right now in Green Bay. And if he's terrible, I'm gonna come out here, with the Viking jersey on, like get the champagne ready. I mean, look, we've been waiting so long in the NFC North. It's like a celebratory season in some ways, honestly. Like going into the year, this, Zach, when Brady left, it was like, holy crap, anyone can win this thing. Like we have a chance. Yeah, the problem is we have Josh Allen come up next. Yeah. I mean, like you guys have a separate issue. And now Josh Allen's not Tom Brady. Kirk Cousins, he could absolutely step in and fill that Aaron Rodgers role of dominating the division for years. I hope so. But it does feel freeing not having Aaron Rodgers there. He came here. Yeah. He came good. And he's going to be with us next year. So I'm happy about it. And I will say one more thing. I do like Jordan Love too. The person Jordan Love just seems like a really good dude. So it's hard to. It sucks. It sucks so much that all the Packers fans, all the players, they're just so nice. They're just always so nice. I saw a guy at the Viking playoff game. I was with one of my friends who's a Packers fan, and he agreed to at least outwardly look like he was rooting for the Vikings. But he had a Packer jersey on, and this Giant fan walks by and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And he was like, "Whoa, like I'm rooting for you secretly." And I just look and I'm like, no, it's fine. He's a Packers fan with us though. I'm like, he's a good guy. And some other Viking fan turns around, he's like, I know, man, most of them are, right? And it was like, yep, of course they are. So better to be a good guy than not. Let's with the Vikings in mind. Part of ESPN's 2023 NFL season preview, they survey league executives, coaches, scouts, players. They rank the top 10 players at each position, or at least 11 different positions. And there's a lot of voters. There's like 80 voters at least who submit for one position, and a lot of them do the entire spectrum. But here were the rankings for receivers. It went 1, Justin Jefferson, 2, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, that's your top 5. Then Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin at 9, and CeeDee Lamb at 10. Bunch of honorable mention guys. Your boy Waddle was in there and as an honorable
He should have
mention.
been top 10. He's better than Lamb.
A little banged up yesterday, right? You
a little banged up. Probably a little rib injury. He'll be good for sure the start of the season.
Hey, he's right there, though. So there's a lot of young guys who were honorable mentions. But one shocking thing, and this is why Ziggy sent it into our group chat a few weeks ago, is someone had Justin Jefferson ranked as the 7th best receiver in the NFL. And
I'm not sure that was the craziest ranking, actually.
Well, the Devontae Adams at 9 was another absurd one, and Tyreek Hill at 9.
Someone ranked Mark Andrews as not a top 10 tight end.
Yeah.
That one, I think they just forgot about Mark Andrews.
You have to think,
putting
right?
Justin Jefferson at 7. I mean, look, it's just, one thing it tells you. I mean, guys in the NFL just have wildly different opinions sometimes than the public. Like, there's some guy in the NFL sitting there right now thinking Justin Jefferson. He's a product of Kirk Cousins in that offense. Put him on the Bears. He couldn't do anything.
Kirk is really good. The Mark Andrews one
but he is not a product of the Vikings offense. The Vikings offense is a product of him, if anything.
And most people who are, associated with the NFL are like that deep in, the executives, the scouts, the players. They know so much that we don't, that you have to favor their opinions over ours most of the time. But then you see something like that where, Mark Andrews, clearly a top 10 tight end. And then Jefferson at 7. I'm sitting there thinking, like, who do you guys think are the 6 above him? You have to imagine Devontae Adams, right? If you were to come up with with a scenario to have Jefferson land at 7, it would be Devontae Adams would have to be on there.
You'd have to have Kupp up there.
Yep, Kupp, Tyreek, Jamar Chase, there's 4 right there. I'm assuming Diggs. Probably have Diggs as the 5th guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, who are you put? Maybe A.J. Brown or CeeDee Lamb?
DK?
Like, I don't think you can say DK or McLaurin is better than Jefferson.
Maybe Deebo Samuel?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Deebo.
Maybe they're just like some crazy Deebo fan. It's like his ability to run and his yards after catch are incredible.
Maybe he was a Packers executive.
Yeah, probably.
And he's got Christian Watson up there.
It probably was.
Maybe it was Howie.
It was probably A.J. Brown. It was probably A.J. Brown's ranking. But yeah, I guess it would be, for me, if you had to do this, Adams, Chase, Hill, Kupp, Diggs, Brown, and Lamb is another guy you could put in consideration. But, I don't know. Having Jefferson, I'm just looking at his numbers. Most receiving yards ever in the first 3 seasons. This was an interesting stat. He's the 3rd player ever to have back-to-back 1,600-plus seasons. Can you guys guess who the other 2 were? They're within our lifetimes. I believe, I don't know what year the first guy did it, but in the 2010s. They're both in the 2010s.
Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss.
Calvin's one. The other 2010s, though, the other one.
Oh.
So Calvin's one. The other one.
Oh, Antonio Brown.
Yeah, AB. So
AB.
Yeah, he put up so many. People forget, like, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh,
dude put up so many freaking yards.
Oh, go look.
He's
at
a first
his
ballot psychopath too.
Yeah, go look at his Pro Football Reference numbers. He is one of the most impressive pages.
Yeah,
you'll see.
He just the 6th. Was he a 5th or a 6th round pick?
5th.
I think 5th. I think 5th, but I'm not positive.
Oh no, he was pick 195. Okay, so like mid 6th round.
He was 6.
Yeah,
but no one has ever done it 3 years in a row. So if Jefferson goes for 1,600 plus, and you have to remember he has an extra game to do it. Last year wouldn't have mattered, but yeah, 3 years in a row would be kind of crazy. If you have him at 7 on your list, I don't know what NFL you're watching, what games. Like just go watch.
It's like people who don't think Jerry Rice is a top 5 wide receiver of all time. Like, not only is he top 5, he's number 1.
He's a top 5 player of all time, probably.
He's a top 1 player of all time.
So we'll have to. Maybe we do that later.
That could be some off-season content.
Yeah, I mean we're running out of off-season though.
We are running out of off-season.
We are, believe it or not.
Which is great. Trying to come up with things in the off-season is.
We've had a lot recently though. We've been pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our next story. We got a couple more here before we wrap up the show with a fun little game that we normally do. Trevon Diggs and Dak Prescott. I think this might be the most misreported story in all of football this offseason. What's going on down in Dallas?
Oh, We're supposed to do clickbait. You can't come in here and deflate the clickbait stories.
And hopefully,
no, don't worry. We'll put the title as the clickbait. Yeah. They don't have to. This doesn't have to be the clickbait.
We'll clickbait the title. So people who are watching now, thank you for coming in and watching this Cowboys clip. But we're gonna say, yeah, you guys are right, because we know what the comment section would be if we went the ESPN route with things here.
Here, I'll make the comment section great. I think Dak Prescott sucks.
Yeah, okay. Let's take it easy.
But look, all we're seeing right now online and on sports shows, you see Dak throwing interceptions. You see Trevon Diggs calling him, telling him to shut your bitch ass up. You're seeing him throw the ball in the air, celebrating on the sideline. Like, all you're seeing is conflict and stories that putting down Dak Prescott. What you're not seeing is that a lot of people are saying this is the most successful training camp Dak Prescott's had. This is the best he's looked. Then you see Dak and Trevon walking off the field with their arms around each other. It's like, these are close guys. You have to remember, it's intense practice. You have an alpha leader of the offense, an alpha leader of the defense. I want to see these guys going at it the way they are. Hey, look, if every once in a while Trevon Diggs tells him to shut up or celebrates an interception, you got to fuel this fire. And that's what Dak said. He always has the right thing to say. He said, that's a guy I spend a lot of time with. We're always going back and forth. When you're competing at a high level and you believe your side is better than the other side, that's mutual. And that's iron sharpening iron. I love hearing that. And I have no problem with what's going on in Dallas. I think it's wrong that people are just trying to make these stories of, oh, Dak's playing horrible, despite he did lead the league in picks last year. Like, that's why he's under a microscope. But
the reason he's throwing so many picks is because they're bringing in a new offensive scheme.
And it's a great defense. It's a
great defense, right? Trevon Diggs, I'm sure Dak Prescott has lit him up a million times because it's Trevon Diggs. Like, Trevon Diggs is going to be flashy. And like, good. I'm not criticizing him. I think it's great to have a player like that on your defense, but he excels in the highlight play. Yeah. So like, of course it's getting blasted all over social media, but like, they're asking Dak to be more aggressive and throw more. So of course in training camp, he's going to be throwing more interceptions. And you've got a hungry defense. You've got Trevon Diggs. Like, that's just how it's going to go. I'd be worried.
All these antics, like, to be honest, it is showing Dak up when you're like celebrating the way they are and it's all on camera. But that's fine, because they don't care. That's just a part of football. It's like, you see that in practice. Guys are it's competing at a high level, like Dak said. So look, I'm fine with it. The Cowboys are trying to do something they haven't done in almost 30 years and win a Super Bowl. Have an edge. Go out there and compete at a high level. Celebrate if you win.
Do you think they're doing this so much because they just paid Trevon and they're trying to make him look better than he is and justify how much they paid him?
That's why Zach's around here. That's why we keep Zach around.
Just to be clear though, Paul, they've made the Super Bowl in 27 years. They also haven't made the NFC Championship game in 27 years. So maybe set the bar a little bit.
A little lower right there.
Sorry, Cowboys fans. I mean, look. Yeah, here's what you should want if you're a Cowboys fan. You should want Dak Prescott going to bed absolutely fuming, thinking about how he's going to show up Trevon Diggs tomorrow. Like, that's what you want. You want these players to get angry, to get aggressive, because that's when you develop that killer instinct. And people have complained about Dak not having that. It's great.
Yeah, they're friends already. We all know they're friends. It's completely fine out there. If they're throwing punches at each other post-practice and trashing each other in interviews, then there's an issue, but keep it on the field. It's fine.
Like Travis Kelce and his teammates at the beginning.
Yeah, Kelce. Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, it's fine in Dallas. In fact, I think it's really good for the Cowboys that they're this intense at the moment. Okay, the last thing before we wrap up here, this is the Xavien Howard Desmond Ridder situation. I thought you would enjoy this, Zach. So the Dolphins and Falcons have been having joint practices, and after one of the practices, Xavien Howard, the Dolphins stud cornerback, who's not as good as AJ Terrell, was in an interview.
You're right, he isn't. Bro, Chosen Anderson's lighting up AJ Terrell. Anderson.
They were talking with Howard, and the reporter asked him, "What do you think of Ridder?" And he said, "Ridder? I'm sorry." Like, confused. And he said, "The quarterback, Desmond Ridder." Howard goes, "Oh, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry, what number?" He's like, "He's number 9. He goes, "Oh, it was cool. I don't know their names. I wasn't looking at film. It wasn't like I was studying them. Happy to go against them, but they did okay. They did a good job." So it was a compliment at the end of the day from Howard. But when you talk about the starting quarterback for the Falcons and you don't know who he is, I don't get. Look, get one thing out of the way. it wasn't a slight. He just genuinely has no idea who Desmond Ridder is. The third round pick from Cincinnati. Like, Desmond Ridder isn't a super high profile guy. But the one thing I found funny about this is it kind of does encompass the Falcons situation this year. It's like, who is Desmond Ridder? This guy is from Cincinnati.
What a great spin. This is why you sit in that chair. What a great spin.
He's not a stud coming out of Oklahoma or Alabama or USC, these big quarterback schools. Like, Ridder had a very good career at Cincy, got to the playoffs. So that's he's drafted. But now he's sitting there and it's like, all right, what are we going to get from this guy this year? He's in this run-heavy offense. We've talked about before. If he's accurate, maybe Atlanta can take a step up and actually win the NFC South. Not just compete with the Saints, but actually beat them. So I did find this kind of, to put a spin on it the way we did, who is Desmond Ridder? Like, could he actually become a starter that Xavien Howard knows moving forward? Maybe it is. Ziggy, what do you think?
Just before Ziggy goes, just want to put it out there. Like, literally right before the show happened, I didn't know, or not that I didn't know we were doing the Xavien Howard thing. I was on one of the Dolphins Instagram page, or not the Dolphins, but like a Dolphin fan page Instagram, and Xavien Howard commented on that page, like, no disrespect.
Yeah, no, he didn't mean anything. Yeah. It was no malintent.
No, Ridder, I think, is the second most anonymous starting quarterback in the NFL, behind only Sam Howell.
Yeah, but even Howell, people thought he was going to be the number one pick in the draft at one point. Desmond Ridder, really.
But Desmond Ridder also played in the college football playoffs.
He did. But outside of people like us who, really pay attention to college football too,
Xavien Howard's got better stuff to do than watch college football games. Some of these guys, like, they watch every single college game, but like Xavien Howard, he's a grinder, right? Everyone says he's a film grinder. Yeah. Well,
I have no idea which players love football like the way fans do. Some do, some don't. I saw
most
Jamal
probably don't.
I would imagine most don't, if I had to guess. But I saw Jamal Williams the other day. I mean, he's so good. In one of his interviews where he was just saying, he's like, look, I'm good at football. I knew what I was good at. I like playing, but don't get me wrong. I know my on the field life versus off the field, and off the field, I like anime. I watch it every day. I love anime. And it's like, I'm looking at Xavien Howard having no idea who the starting quarterback for the Falcons is. It's like, all right. I mean, I guess, you don't know everyone at the end of the day.
To be fair, you should probably know the starting quarterback of the team you're playing in joint practices.
He probably should, but some people just don't. Yeah, we'll see.
Look, Desmond Ridder, I think, actually, all things considered, played pretty well against the Miami defense.
Did he? That's what I've seen, that he looked okay, but
was he perfect? No, like, he looked average. But again, if you're the Falcons, looking average, right, hitting a majority of your passes, being able to facilitate an offense, that's all you need.
It's a hysterical quote from Howard.
I'm gonna appropriate a Mike McDaniel quote for this. You know what he said about the Dolphins offense? He said, if the goal is average, then I'm super pumped. That for the Falcons, but unironically.
Yeah.
They should be super pumped if they have an average offense.
So there you go.
Xavien Howard has like the best quotes ever.
We'll need to look somewhere.
What do you call it? When we got Tyreek Hill, he literally went on his Instagram, posted a picture of Chris Greer, and goes, F them picks. This guy is legendary for these comments. I don't know where, like, he's a very quiet, like, cornerback.
He looks that way.
And he doesn't talk, but, like, the minute he goes to say something, it is the funniest thing ever. Because he's just so quiet. And then he comes up, like, literally, I looked at that post, I was like, we're ready to go. We're taking on the league this year if this is what he's saying.
Dolphins could be really good.
Xavien Howard, he got sued for spreading STDs in Florida.
Are you serious?
He did.
Yeah, no.
You know what? That went under the radar.
That did.
Yeah, because he just says crazy stuff. Yeah. And Millie, that lawsuit was like ridiculous. You can't sue someone for giving you an STD. But like, Xavien Howard just lives his life, man.
Wow. All right.
Have you ever watched his interviews?
No, I haven't. It sounds like I should, though.
Like, he has no emotion.
That's what it looked like. He just was very quiet. He's like
Kawhi.
So weird.
He's like, I've no
is like
freaking
Kawhi.
idea who Desmond Ridder is.
Yeah, there's just no emotion, but he just goes out there and he just plays. And I'm like, look, you did good.
Yeah. Let's wrap up here. I actually have a movie question for you guys. So I did bring up.
My answer is yes.
Okay, I'm excited. No, I debated this with people all day today. But before we do that real quick, I figured, the top 10 box office movies of all time. I could ask you guys if you could guess those 10. Would you like to do that? Would you like to try? Do you think you
I know a couple of them. I'm not sure I know all 10.
Are you going to be disrespecting me again like you did last show and telling me that I wasn't good at guessing?
Well, Zach, do you even know number one?
Avatar.
Avatar is one.
Yeah, Ziggy.
Wait, hold on. Is this inflation
Ziggy.
Adjusted?
Let's go.
It must be, because not inflation adjusted. The number one is Gone with the Wind.
Wait. I thought inflation adjusted would be Gone with the Wind.
Okay, when it's inflation adjusted, it's Gone with the Wind.
Yeah. It's not inflation adjusted.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that makes this more interesting.
So Avatar is number one at 2.9.
Yeah. What up,
billion.
Ziggy? What up, Ziggy?
Okay, my bad.
Hey, you're
my
on
bad.
a team. You're on a team, guys.
My
we
teammate
gotta get this
disrespected me the other
together.
day. It's just like we're like Trevon and Dak right now. We're like Trevon and Dak. I had to set him in his place real
Except
quick.
Dak comes out and he says we're friends.
Yeah, we are friends. But I just had to set him in his place real quick. I was the Trevon. He's the Dak.
All right, so we got Avatar.
All right, Ziggy, that's all I got.
We have Avatar.
Zach, I've seen one movie with you, and I think it might have been...
Me?
What movie did we see together?
Me or Paul?
I don't know if we watched the movie when you came up, Ziggy, but you were.
No, we definitely did.
Oh, we did. Yes. You're right. We did see a movie together.
Was it a Spider-Man movie?
We did?
We went to theaters.
All of it? Oh my God, we did. I totally forgot we did that.
See a massive movie together.
Did we see Marvel movie? Well, Endgame's
it
got to
was
be up there, right? Just putting it out there.
I'd go Endgame.
Endgame is 2.
Yeah, okay. What movie did we see? Oh my God.
I mean, Ziggy said.
Wait. You said Avatar,
Spider-Man?
right? Avatar
we saw
2's got to
Spider-Man?
be up there.
Avatar 2 is 3.
Really? Avatar made that much money?
Dude, Avatar 2 made
no, look, the special effects
I didn't know
movies
Avatar
just
2
print
made that much money.
2.3 billion. All right, no strikes so far, and you have the top 3. And you're
Okay.
on the cusp of another
Zach,
one.
do you remember the name of the most recent Spider-Man movie?
Is it Spider-Man Homecoming?
No, the most recent one.
No Way Home.
Into the Spider-Verse?
No Way Home. That's it.
No
Give
Way
me that
Home.
one.
No Way Home is 7th.
Okay.
Okay, so right now you need.
Is there multiple of like the same movies? Like is like Avatar is on there twice? Like, are we gonna be like?
There are no more. I mean, there's one more that has the same title. Actually, there's 2 more. There's 2 more that have the same title.
Oh, it's got to be Avengers: Infinity War
Yep, Infinity War is 6,
and Generic Avengers.
and yes, Generic Avengers is 10.
Yeah. So the 2 of that have the same name was a
You like that?
giveaway.
You like how I got that out of Paul? Paul probably shouldn't have said anything, but I got that. I squeezed it out of him. I knew he'd say
4,
it.
5, 8, and 9 are now different titles.
4, 5,
Okay.
8, and 9.
Didn't Titanic do really
Ooh,
well?
Titanic, yeah.
I seem to remember that like always being at the top. But
Titanic is
the
4.
inflation. Okay, the inflation.
Don't worry
one
about the
almost had me.
inflation, Ziggy. Don't worry about the inflation.
All right, let's
Well,
see
again,
here.
Gone with the Wind would be number 1, but
On the verge of flawless. You need 5, 8, and 9 right now. Just for those listening, Avatar at 1, Avatar 1. Endgame at 2, Avatar 2 at 3. Titanic at 4. Avengers Infinity War 6. No Way Home Spider-Man 7. And the original Avengers, the first one, at 10.
You think there's any more Marvel movies on there? Like Iron Man or something like that?
those are older though. Like I feel
They are
like
older.
I'm thinking one of the Star Wars movies has got to be up there at least.
You think
I think it was the first one that
Force
did the
Awakens?
best. Yeah, that one.
Force Awakens is 5.
Okay.
Yeah, Ziggy, look at us putting our brains together.
Oh, but Paul said there were no more with the same.
Yeah, no more
names.
with
that
the
means
same
there's no
titles.
more Star Wars.
Yeah, there's no more Star Wars.
Oh, that actually, I would have just guessed more Star
You
Wars.
see, look at me. I take things out of them.
Okay,
Well,
wait, hold on.
Let's see if you could get 8 and 9.
Thinking of. What about one of the Fast and Furious movies has to be up there? Do you know which one did the best?
Did 7 do the best because of Paul Walker dying?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, Furious 7.
11.
Oh, that hurts.
11.
That hurts. That was a good one, though.
Oh.
That was a good one.
What about the most recent Top Gun movie? I'm going
Top Gun
like
2?
Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, like it was Maverick, right? Was that the name?
Was it called Maverick?
Zach, how do you
was
feel
Top
about
Gun
that?
Maverick.
The most recent Top Gun one. How do you feel about that, Zach?
I do like it. I do like it. I never saw it. This is the problem.
It's really good. Really,
It is,
really
yeah,
good.
I heard it was really good.
It had a crazy box office. I think
I'm
it's
cool
a
with
safe
it.
guess.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I'm cool with you. I'm cool with that.
It's 12.
Of course it is.
No.
Of course it is.
Shoot.
We're
You
just
guys
Okay,
got
I'm trying to.
what numbers do we have left?
8 and 9.
8 and
So
9.
you're
Oh,
right
we got
there.
11 and 12.
Wow, that's incredible.
I could potentially. I could give you guys a little hint if you want.
I don't know if I want a little hint yet.
Well, you have 1 strike, so be good here.
Yeah, you know.
I feel like
we'll
we
be
should get a second strike for getting 11 and 12.
You're right. That's incredible.
That is true. That is very well done. But no.
Wow, look at this guy.
I could give you a hint.
You think it's like an older movie
No, okay.
or more recent?
You know what? But that's the hint, Paul. When's the oldest movie of the two left?
The oldest of the 2 left is,
Like an approximate year.
is 2015.
Oh, so these are both very recent.
Yeah.
Recent movies.
I'm
I'm trying to think. So we've got no more Marvel,
No more Marvel.
no more Star Wars.
Well,
no
not
more-
necessarily no more Marvel. No more Avengers.
Oh yeah, no more Avengers.
Mm. Well, no more Spider-Man. Right, Spider-Man's out.
No
Oh,
more
yeah.
Spider-Man.
I feel like Avengers and Spider-Man were the big Marvels, so I'm okay ruling that out.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot! Except for Black Panther, huh?
Black Panther. Which one? The first one or the second one?
The first one. Oh, also there's so many to go. You go with the Harry Potter movies too, like Deathly Hallows Part 2.
I will
did
tell you
really
this.
well.
I will tell you this. You guys are right.
Okay.
No more Marvel movies. Black Panther is 16 on the list.
Okay.
Now, yeah, I mean, Black Panther was huge.
When was the last Harry Potter? When was 7?
Yeah, it was like 20. Shoot, I was on vacation with my family when we saw it. I think it was 2010.
So it's off.
That was a while.
Oh, yeah. So you're right. That can't be it. He said
That
it was
can't
2015.
Yeah. So it can't be any of the Fast and Furious movies. Could like Tokyo Drift? When did Tokyo Drift came out?
No, those are two old. Furious 7 was a good guess.
Furious 7 was.
There are, let's see here. Of
Hold on,
the
what
remaining.
about those Jurassic Park movies? Those did really well.
It would have to be the newest Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about like the big. Yeah.
Yeah, Jurassic World. It wasn't.
Which
Jurassic
one? So like, there were more recent Jurassic Worlds, right?
There was Jurassic
like,
World, and then there was like Jurassic.
You know what,
Dominion and-
who saw the later ones? Absolutely no one. Give me Jurassic World.
Jurassic World is 8.
Yeah,
2015.
Ziggy.
Oh, so this one's at 20. I guess that doesn't tell us anything actually.
Well, it's got to be later than 2015,
Or it could be 2015 too.
or it could be. Yeah, but I don't think anything else besides. I think Jurassic World was like one of the biggest movies that came out that year.
Among a movie, let's see here.
Could we get like an action movie or sci-fi or comedy? Or is that too?
He doesn't want to give it to us.
No.
Okay, that.
All right. It was just an ask. Just an ask.
How'd the Mario movie do? That was doing really, really well.
I think it did well, but I don't think it's putting up the numbers.
It broke 1.4 billion, I think.
The Mario movie. How's the Barbie movie doing?
The Barbie movies.
Wait, no, Avengers did like 1.6. So no, 1.4 wouldn't get you that.
Avengers did 1.5.
Okay, sure, whatever. Cool. It did 1.5. That's enough.
Yeah.
No more Mario World.
No. God, there's got to be.
Oh.
There's got to be one that
We're missing something super obvious.
Yeah,
I can just
it's-
tell.
No. It's not super obvious.
What about Frozen?
Oh.
Didn't Frozen do ungodly numbers? Okay, no, Paul's
Frozen.
face is not frozen. It's not Frozen.
Yeah.
Well, no. You know, I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh, maybe it's Frozen too. Could it
Honestly,
be like?
I'm at a loss here. I feel like all the things I could
Could it be
pick-
like a war movie? You think?
But the thing is, so like you look at the movies that are like big numbers, right? They're movies that people see a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like people largely don't go and see those war movies a bunch of times.
You ready? I'll tell you this here. It is a. No, I can't say that. It's too.
Wait, here's
Oh,
a
wait.
sorry.
What about James Bond? When did that come out? The like Skyfall.
Oh, Skyfall? Oh,
Skyfall.
that's not a bad guess, is it?
When did that come out?
I could feel Skyfall. I could also feel Lord of the Rings. Like Return of the King did crazy numbers.
Dude, 2000. That's like 2000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 2000. I forgot about.
You're thinking more of like The Hobbit. It had to be The
Wait,
Hobbit.
no, Skyfall was that was like early 2010s.
Skyfall? No,
yeah, no,
way.
that was. I remember seeing that. I was like 13.
2010s.
To speed this up here, here's what I'll tell you.
Okay,
We're
dragging.
Just give it to us. Just give it to
It's a
us.
Disney
Yeah,
movie.
wait, hold on. We got to make a
Disney
guess.
movie?
It's a Disney
My
movie.
guess, I guess Frozen. Frozen 2, final answer. That's my guess. Zach, you good with that?
I'm
Frozen
cool with
2.
Frozen 2 is 13 on the list.
Of course it is. Of course
So
it
you're
is.
telling me we got 11,
And
12, and
12.
13 with our strikes? Okay, what was 9?
9 is the Lion King remake.
What?
What?
Get the fuck out of
No.
here.
Huge.
Okay,
Get
hold
outta
on.
We
here.
saw that. We
Get
saw that
outta
in theaters
here.
together, me and you.
Get out of here that is even in there. I don't. No.
It
no.
grossed 1.66 billion.
That is incredible. That
Oh,
should
that was
not
when we
even
got
be on the list.
stranded in Niles, Michigan.
Yeah, we saw
for the
that
second
together.
time.
Frozen 2 was 13. 14 was Avengers.
That was a live action one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was huge. That was
What?
It was
massive.
terrible. It had John Oliver in
I
it.
was working at McDonald's at the time, and that was a huge toys for months. We were handing out those.
That is incredible that the Lion King remake is up there.
So you had
That is disgusting.
Avatar 1, Avengers Endgame 2, Avatar The Way of Water 3, Titanic 4, Star Wars Force Awakens 5, Avengers Infinity War 6, 7 Spider-Man No Way Home, 8 Jurassic World, 9 The Lion King, 10 The Avengers. And then you
Ziggy,
guys
I'm saying we
got-
went 10 for 10 on
you
that.
guys
That is
got
disgusting.
Furious
The
7.
fact that we went 11, 12, and 13 and lost to Lion King remake. Yeah, okay.
Age of Ultron was 14. 15 was actually Super Mario. So you guys mentioned that, and then you also said Black Panther. So you named
Is Fury 7 anywhere? Like on
Fury
there?
7 was 11.
Fury 7 was
Oh, sorry,
11.
yeah,
you
sorry,
said.
sorry.
You named. I'm assuming you probably would have got to Age of Ultron because all the Avengers were huge. You really kind of named 15 at the top 16.
Would Skyfall anywhere near there? Yeah, I'm
I
sure.
don't- I don't
Yeah,
know. I
I'm
don't
sure
have
you
that
don't.
on
Well,
have
let me
but-
pull this up really quick. I
But
want
it
to
was
see.
I mean, The Lion King was the one I thought you might have trouble with, but that was huge. And very
Skyfall was 29.
And so,
Skyfall
real
was
quick before we wrap up, because I know we've had how many times have we said that on this show? I know we are going long here. I'm trying to think of my top 10 movies of all time. I'd like to make a list and have like Paul's, like my personal ranking, not for the show or anything, just that I could have. And in my top 5, I've always had the Lion King. Actually, has always been one of my 5 favorite movies, and then Jaws is another one. I'm pretty sure that Dark Knight is entering that somewhere in the top
Never
10.
seen it.
All right, we'll watch it this weekend. Those are 3 that I have in my top 10. But I was debating, can you count? And please, if you're still listening, write in the comment section if you agree with this or not. If you have a movie like Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, where it is a 2-parter and it picks up immediately where the other one left off. So not like Star Wars episode 4 and 5, there's time gaps between them. Things happen. In 5 to 6, Luke changes lightsabers. We don't really talk about that at all. There are differences. But Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows, part 1 and part 2. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Even the Lord of the Rings, each one picks up immediately where the other one left off. Can you count those as one spot in a top 10 movies list?
I'm willing to, but none of those movies should be in your top 10 movie list.
Probably not, but well, maybe. But you're willing to accept that?
Yes.
Okay. But like, yeah, Godfather.
Frankly,
Part 1
I'm
and Part
willing
2
to
different.
accept. I'm willing to accept discontinuous sequels too.
Like Godfather 1 and 2, they're separate to me.
The thing is, for me, it's just like when you're making a top 10 movie list, I kind of just want to hear like your 10 favorite movies. So like if you say, taking us a pair of these 2 movies that are like actually connected, I'm not talking like the Ingmar Bergman trilogy, like
Sure.
films that are actually connected together. Like you
Wait,
said,
wait,
Wait,
you-
what the
repeat-
hell did you just say?
repeat yourself with that one, please.
like I'm not talking about like the Ingmar Bergman trilogy.
What is the
right? That's not a real
Ingmar
trilogy.
Bergman
What is that?
trilogy?
So Ingmar Bergman has 3 films that were like, he called it the Silence of God trilogy: Through a Glass Darkly, Winter Light, and The Silence.
So and
they don't feature any of the same characters or anything.
You threw that out like any of the listeners are going to really know that.
Look, if there's some listener I know who respects good cinema. Like these are some of the best films ever.
All right. But back to the point. So you lean more towards you're willing to accept it, but you would say, generally speaking, you wouldn't put like a part 1 and part 2.
No, as long as they're actually connected, right? It's not an unofficial trilogy, it's a real trilogy or duo or whatever. Yeah, count it. I don't care.
Okay.
I just want to hear your 10 favorite things.
Would you agree Okay, so you would even accept like Star Wars 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Okay. See, yeah, I think I would draw the line. Yeah, you know,
my line isn't permissive, but that's just because I'm curious.
Yeah, you know what? I'd be fine with it too. If you love Star Wars.
I don't know if I could go 3, like 3-part,
like Lord of the Rings. You couldn't.
You guys have really never seen an Ingmar Bergman film?
Ziggy, we're past Ingmar Bergman. Ingmar Bergman.
I'm sorry, these films are incredible.
Ziggy, I could go my whole life without knowing that name again.
Well, maybe over the next couple of weeks,
go watch Wild Strawberries.
We can try and get these top. That would be a fun graphic if we did top 10 movies. And if you're listening and you have your top 5 or top 10 or top 3, let us know because we could do a little.
I'm making a promise right now. I will personally grade and review every single top X movies list that comes in our comments. Every single one on any platform. I'll give my analysis.
He's a professional grader too.
He is a professional
or semi-professional grader.
Oh, I'm professional. I get paid money.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. Do you have a list at all, Zach, or would you have to think a lot more about that?
What, a top 10 movie?
Yeah, do you have like some thoughts?
I don't know if I can name 10 right now off the bat. I know a couple that would be on there.
What are a few that would be on there?
Saving Private Ryan is definitely on there for me. I'm a big war movie guy, so Saving Private Ryan is definitely up there for me.
Star Wars
is somewhere. Wait, Star Wars as a whole, or just like
it depends. Yeah, we'll have to get into the nitty gritty.
Like,
but
this is where it goes.
We'll post the rankings over the next few weeks. We'll figure that out. But let us know if you have a favorite movie or a top 10 list. All right. With that said, we'll be back next Tuesday reacting to some of the preseason. Again, preseason kicks off tonight. Let's go. Football
preseason kind of already kicked off.
Yeah, I guess it did, but
no one watches the Hall of Fame game anyway. This is when every team gets.
We're all waiting for the Vikings to start. That's really what people want to see. So yes, we're back, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Again, thanks for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 before the season starts, and we're getting close. We're hovering around 850 right now. So we will see you next week. Again, thanks for listening. See ya.